I don't know what else to say besides NXT is just really good. I mean, when it comes to Raw, SmackDown, TNA, hell, even AEW, I tune in every now and again. I think like, yeah, it's okay, but NXT is the only show right now that I consistently watch every week and think like, damn, this is some good shit. I mean, Evolve too. I really like Evolve, but I guess that doesn't really count. I mean, the show isn't even an hour long. But NXT, it's so good. Everything is just amazing. I fucking love the show. I mean, the show opens with Ricky Saints having to run a gauntlet against the Vanity Project. I really like the Vanity Project and especially the Evolve champion Jackson Drake. Man, I'm so high on that guy. If you guys don't watch Evolve, he's really good. He's insanely good. So Ricky Saints manages to dispose of Swipe Right pretty easily if we're being fair. And then he has to go against Jackson Drake, but he disposes of him too. Ricky Saints successfully runs the gauntlet. I mean, I wanted Jackson Drake to win. I feel like he could have used that, but who cares? It's not a big deal. I mean, the guy's gonna be fine. So Ricky Saints grabs the mic after the match and says that he's going to challenge Ethan Page in a Falls Count Anywhere match. That's gonna be pretty good. I really like this feud. I mean, the second feud they've been having, it's been way better than the original one they had. I think, yeah, definitely. And I'm excited for the match. I think it's gonna be a really cool match. And I think it could be brutal because while this feud hasn't exactly been like very brutal or bloody, there has been moments like the whole Ricky Saints neck thing. I feel like there's going to be an insanely good match with some really gnarly spots. And when it comes to the Vanity Project and Jackson Drake, I'm really liking how much they're appearing on NXT. I mean, Swipe Right has appeared on NXT a lot, so that's pretty cool for them. And Jackson Drake making his first official NXT match, even in a loss, it's pretty cool. I think this is going to help Evolve too, having these guys show up and not necessarily star power, but just representing the top of your brand. So we head backstage for a moment where Zaruka is really excited for an upcoming match at Evolution. They're going to be in a tag team match. I mean, I really like Zarya and Zaruka too. Like, they're my favorite team. So Laney Reed comes up to them and says that they're just gonna fail because Zarya couldn't even beat Izzy Dame. And that's when Kelani Jordan steps up and defends Zarya and Zaruka and challenges Laney Reed to a match later tonight. Which is pretty weird to me because I thought Kelani Jordan was starting to be a heel and she had beef with Zaruka for a while now, no? But okay, I like Kelani Jordan as a babyface. I think it fits her way better. I mean, she's not bad as a heel, not at all. I just prefer her as a babyface. And she also recently got engaged to Carmelo Hayes, so like, damn, he stole my wife. Like, damn, I lost my opportunity, man. I'm so sad. Anyways, this turns into a match later tonight. Kelani Jordan successfully defeats Laney Reed. I'm really happy with this result because I believe Kelani Jordan really needed another victory. She's been taking loss after loss after loss. So giving her a victory is pretty good. I wonder where we're going with her story because I'm not totally sure because it seems like they're reverting her back to a babyface. So I just want to see what we're doing there. But after the match, Thea Hill jumps Laney Reed, seemingly continuing that feud. They brawl all the way backstage. So I'm excited to see where that goes to, but more specifically, I'm hoping to see something with Kelani Jordan. And honestly, I wouldn't mind if she joins Zaruka and that makes them a trio. And you know, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just want everybody to join Zaruka. It was Tatum Paxley, which we'll talk about that later. And now Kelani Jordan. I just think they fit so well with everyone. I feel like there's an amazing dynamic they can have with literally anyone. And then all throughout the night, all the way up to the Evolution Summit, we have a bunch of Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe segments. So we start off with Jordynne Grace training in the gym and she gets a call from Blake Monroe. She asks Blake where she is and Blake says that they're basically gonna have a glamorous makeover. Blake says she sent her driver in a black SUV to get her and Jordynne is not sure about this at all, and we all know the stuff that happens in the NXT parking lot. I would not get into a black SUV there either. So very smart, Jordynne. But eventually Jordynne does give in. She gets into the black SUV and once she is dropped off, she's disgusted. Now that's the first one. We also have a second one, which is Jordynne meeting Blake in a nail salon and she says that she wants out of here and will just Uber her way back to the PC. Now Blake begs Jordynne to just stay and let her treat her and she does, and eventually they go through it all. Jordynne does not like it at all. And after some makeup, Jordynne Grace eventually smiles and then after tells Monroe that this was actually pretty nice, and Blake says that this was important, but the important part is going to be getting that NXT Women's Championship away from Jacy if they're going to be on the same page this Saturday. Now pretty much everyone knows I was a bit hesitant to buy into this Blake Monroe and Jordynne Grace team up, I guess you can say, and I'm still not unsure, but I'm very much more invested in it than I was before. So I'm intrigued, at the very least I'm intrigued to see what happens come the tag team match, and I'm really hoping Jordynne Grace wins that NXT Women's Championship. Nothing against Jacy Jane, I just feel like Jordynne would have a lot more to do with it than necessarily Jacy Jane would have. Our next match is between Tavon Heights and Charlie Dempsey. The rule is that if Tavon manages to pick up the victory, Charlie Dempsey has to just let him go out of the NQCC. And Charlie Dempsey ends up winning. So Tavon has to stay. But the key thing in this match is Tavon's leg got stuck between the steel steps, and then Charlie Dempsey just jumped on it and brutally attacked it. So even though Charlie Dempsey won, there's definitely going to be further tension, and I really like that. Like I said, I wanted Tavon to join because I feel like there's a story to tell, and they've shown us what story they're going to tell, because Tavon is not going to want to stay in this group anymore if this is how Charlie Dempsey treats him. I'm really intrigued here. And Charlie Dempsey Tavon didn't even necessarily lose, right? Because Ren Sinclair threw in the towel on behalf of him. So I feel like the dynamics over the coming week between this faction is going to be really interesting to see. And while I don't want Miles Bourne to come back, I can definitely see something with Miles Bourne backing up Tavon. I could see a route like that happening. I'm just really invested in this. I love everything that happens with the NQCC. This is a really interesting story for me. So then we also go backstage where Hank and Tank are prepared for their match tonight for their tag team championships against the Culling. And Javon Evans appears. Javon Evans hypes them up a bit before he gets brutally attacked by Jasper Troy. Now Hank and Tank try to hold him back, but Jasper Troy just goes through them and viciously attacks Javon Evans further. And then later during the night, we get a bit of an update on Javon Evans as he's in the hospital or in the medical room, and then Jasper Troy just jumps him there too, brutally attacks him there. Jasper Troy was just after Javon tonight. So afterwards, again a bit later in the show too, Jasper Troy comes up to the ring and he says he's done with Javon Evans, he disposed of him, so he wants able to do the right thing and put him in the NXT Championship match later or at the pay-per-view. And then Javon Evans comes out, he's a bit taped up, and he manages to get Jasper Troy out of the ring before diving over the top rope and onto him. I've loved this feud. Everybody knows here that I'm a big fan of Javon Evans, and if you watched my videos recently, you know I'm seriously high on Jasper Troy too. So I'm just really excited for this match. I think it's going to be a really great match, and Javon Evans can make a good match out of anyone, and Jasper Troy isn't bad himself. So this match, like I said, is going to steal the show. Then we had another tag team match. It is Santana and Joe Henry going up against the High Rise. Wesley and Trick Williams are at ringside, and as much as they try to stop Santana and Joe Henry from winning, they utterly fail. Santana and Joe Henry pick up the victory, but after the match they just get attacked and get overwhelmed. So Trick Williams and Wesley and the High Rise stand tall. Another really solid match. I liked it, but I will say TNA could use this storyline on their show a lot more. It doesn't feel like, I feel like they take the best segments and give it to NXT and then leave TNA with the scrappy segments, and you know, that's really bad because this is for the TNA Championship. You should have this match, which was insanely entertaining, on the actual TNA show, and then give us something different on NXT. Give us more stuff related to NXT. Not that I don't want to see good stuff on NXT. I just think like it's the goddamn TNA Championship. It should feel important on TNA because let's be honest, this whole story so far has felt more impactful towards what's happening on NXT in case of TNA, if you're getting what I'm going. But I do believe Trick Williams is going to retain the championship because I believe Joe Henry is going to accidentally cause Santana the match, or I think Joe Henry is going to turn heel in this match. I just think it will make the most sense seeing as he's most likely coming to NXT very soon. And then that's going to cause Santana the match somehow, and Trick Williams is going to retain. And since we're talking about the World Championships, let's get into the NXT Championship segment. Inamora comes to the ring, he's joined by Obafemi, and they do have a face-to-face. Inamora says he is an honorable man, he fights with honor, and he will win that NXT World Championship with honor. And Obafemi mocks him, saying he might be honorable, but you know, he's not gonna win. And he should be happy, at least he has friends and the fans who will pick up the pieces that Obafemi leaves behind of him. That's when Josh Briggs grabs the mic from Inamora, and Josh Briggs goes off. He says that Inamora might be honorable, but he's not, and he'll do whatever he can to make sure Inamora wins that championship. Now Obafemi just, doesn't care about Briggs, which causes Briggs to try and lunge at him, but Obafemi throws him out of the ring, and then Inamora body slams Obafemi. Obafemi gets up pretty easily though, and the two of them want a brawl, but security keeps them apart. Now, here's what I think is gonna happen. We all know Inamora's not gonna win. Like, that was pretty obvious. That was obvious from the start of the feud, but it doesn't matter. Also, just saying, I'm fully bought into Inamora now. I know last week I said I don't feel him. I'm getting it now. I'm getting it now. But back to the thing, I think Josh Briggs is accidentally gonna cost Inamora the championship, and I feel like that's really gonna drive a tension between the two, because somehow Obafemi needs to retain. But we also want to get a good story out of this, and Josh Briggs has continuously been failing. He failed at winning that the TNA championship from Trick Williams. He's failed at capturing the tag team championships with Inamora, and if you've noticed, through most of those stuff, it's always been Briggs taking the pin and losing, and Inamora being the one that gets him the opportunities. So once Briggs actually costs Inamora a world championship, I feel like there's going to be a massive rift there and we might see a feud there. So that's my prediction. I think Inamora is going to get close. Briggs is accidentally going to cost him. Obafemi is going to retain and we're going to see a feud between those two. I'm totally down for that. A few segments then before we get into the main event of the show. We have a family meeting between all members of the family, and it's announced that next week we're going to have a triple threat match. Now, there is a lot we can say. Adriana Rizzo returns. She holds this whole meeting. I'm not invested in the family stuff, so I don't really have much to say for you guys. I feel like the feud's been botched. I keep saying that. I'm not really invested. No new segments really buy me into it, so my viewpoint of it is constantly the same. I'm just not interested in seeing this. So hopefully next week the show ends, or the feud ends, and we are done with this. And then we also have a Chase U segment. Kale Dixon is supposed to have a match, but his blood pressure is too high. I'm pretty sure this is just him lying to get out of it, which is very good character work. But similarly to the family stuff, Chase U segments are very slow. The story doesn't build up nearly fast enough for me to care. I'm not really invested in this either, so again, not a lot I can really say. Then our main event match of the night is Hank and Tank going up against the Culling for the Tag Team Championships. Now the key thing here during the match is Tatum Paxley is kidnapped by Sol Ruka and Zarya, which I think is pretty cool, but that didn't even matter because, well, I'm going to talk about up next. So yeah, Hank and Tank end up retaining, which is a good decision. I don't feel like this was a main event worthy match. It just didn't feel very impactful. Like, what would have been a lot more impactful is if the Culling had actually won, because they have a bit of momentum behind them now. The Tatum Paxley joining them has been very interesting. It's made Izzy Dame evolve a lot, and I think the Culling are kind of on an okay term now. I think people in general are starting to see them as not boring. So I think like they should have won the tag team championships, would have given Hank and Tank a better story, because right now they have absolutely nothing going for them. So maybe that would have worked, but at the end it's just Hank and Tank who won the match. You know, the most interesting thing was the fact that one of their managers got kidnapped. And then afterwards we have the Evolution Summit. So to just, summarize what happens here, a bunch of women who are going to be in the Evolution Battle Royal or stuff like that, they all come together from Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Somehow Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame are together again, and we didn't get any update on that. So cool, I guess. I don't know. I feel like, kind of inconsistency. Who cares? It breaks out in a massive brawl essentially, with Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley just watching. It was pretty okay. Once again, I don't feel like the build to Evolution has been interesting whatsoever. I was way more invested in the stuff surrounding Blake Monroe and Jordynne Grace tonight, so that's a good thing. But this whole thing, it just felt like, I don't know, it wasn't important. It was just, hey, here's all the women that are going to be in the Battle Royal, be interested. Now it was cool, I'm not gonna like take points off for this, but it was just, didn't feel that important or even that structured. It felt like, yeah, here, take this. So if I had to give tonight's show rating, I'd say tonight was a solid 9 out of 10. All the matches hit, all the storylines hit. I really liked a bunch of the developments tonight, especially stuff what happened with Jasper, Troy, and Javon Evans, and then also Blake Monroe and Jordynne Grace. I really liked that. So yeah, the show was pretty good overall. So yeah, if you like my review of the show tonight, or just me talking about it, because that's what this is, not really reviews, it's just me talking about the show. If you like that, I do that about NXT and TNA every week, and I'm really enjoying Evolve, so I think I'm actually going to consistently start covering that and not just watching it. So if any of that interests you, leave a like, subscribe, that would mean a lot to me. So I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye everyone.